were the things you saw then that led you to believe that maybe this was still possible back then?
I think I saw more from within the building, just how hard guys were working, how guys were taking it personal when we were losing games and going through that stretch. You kind of know how they react after games if you're going to be in this spot or if you're going to have a chance to be in this spot. And guys weren't happy, and they were putting in the work to get better. And that's what you need in order, whenever you go through adverse times, is guys to continue to work and to continue to get better.
Are there specific scores you can?
I mean, if you watch the receivers every single day, I mean, they're catching on the side when the defense is up. They're catching after practice, catching before practice. I remember I was walking to lunch one day and Sky's out there just catching by himself. I mean, that's just those guys have that mindset of they're going to continue to get better, and that's been out throughout the whole entire team. We're not wasting any moments in practice where guys are working on the side. We're trying to get better, and we're not going to let that slide this week either. We're going to try to do the same thing going into the Super Bowl.
Patrick, that Justin Tucker thing before the game, how did that impact you?
Not really at all. I think guys were just ready to play regardless. So we just kind of kept it going and kept it moving.
That happened with him before, right?
We not to that extent, but we have had that same issue. So we just got to figure out how his warm-up routine and my warm-up routine don't interact.
What were you going to do with the 15-yard penalty? Did you devise a plan when you guys were going to get out there?
Say that one more time. I lost.
Mr. Travis said you were going to be out on the field and he missed that kick. Do you know what you were going to do?
Yeah, I was going to chase Travis and just get him back to the sideline. So that would probably been the best decision.
Patrick, asked Andy about this, but just being an underdog this postseason, it seems like there's been a particular enjoyment in the locker room. Is that your perspective of it, and how so?
I think for some guys, for sure. I mean, we just haven't had that aspect, so it kind of lit a fire, I think, under some guys, including myself. But at the end of the day, it's playoff games. I mean, you want to win. I mean, this is what you kind of play for, and I think that fire would have been, regardless if we were underdog or not, that fire would have been lit because this is the time of year that you work for and you put in those hard practices for. And I think we have that mindset. If we're going to practice the way we do and we're going to work the way we work, we're not going to let it slide by, and we're going to make sure that we maximize our opportunity every time we're out there.
Having the defense that you have, you mentioned having to adjust your mentality. 17-10 games have been a little bit more rare in previous years. How have you had to temper maybe your aggressive mentality when maybe other years you may be a little bit more apt to throw down?
Yeah, I mean it's a mixture of everything. I mean I always want to be aggressive. I always want to take chances, but just knowing when to do that, when is the best opportunity. And you saw us a couple in the second half where I let it go downfield. We just didn't hit on them. I think we just got to execute at a higher level in the second half after watching the film. There were still some chances there, but when you don't execute versus a great defense, drives stall out, and that'll be very similar to this next game we're playing. I mean, that's a great defense that we're going up against, and then we're going to have to be really high execution, kind of like we were in the first half, but negative plays will stall drives out, and they're a defense that will, once those drives, you have negative plays, those drives won't end with points.
You said you when to go downfield, when to do that. You seem to have an amazing ability to know the game situation. Not just whether or not to take a shot, but late in the fourth quarter, you're taking sacks instead of throwing it away. Keep the clock going. Is that something that on the sideline or the huddle you're constantly talking about? Are you thinking it through, or does it just come as second nature?
I think it's we have these meetings. Travis hates them. Where we have these meetings where we go over every single situation every single week, and we just go through them. They're long, repetitive meetings, but we actually show film from games in previous years or previous weeks, and they talk through the different stuff. And it gets repetitive, but I listen and I ask questions, and I try to figure out every single situation for every single game. And you saw in the Super Bowl this last year, I mean, we were having that drive, and you want to score points, but as the clock started running down, that last drive of the game, you start letting the clock run a little bit more and try to see if we can end with the football. And it comes from those meetings, and even though guys are in there and it's like an extra meeting that takes like an hour on a Friday or Saturday, whatever it is, those little things are what kind of gets you to this spot. And so that's why I enjoy it, and I know the guys do, even though they get a little bored and tired in them.
Patrick, Kelce seemed to be particularly pumped up last week, during the week, and before the game, after the game. Just in general, what does his energy do? What does it bring to you and also maybe the rest of the guys?
Yeah, I think it brings a ton. It's the energy, and people don't even see it at practice. I mean, the energy that he has, he wants to take every single rep. We have to get him out of practice just to give him a rest, and he wants to be out there for every single play. And I think that mindset, when you see the Hall of Fame tight end and he wants to be the guy working the hardest, it raises everybody's standard. It raises the standard of how you practice. It raises the standards of how you prepare, because you know that guy that's done at the top level wants to continue to do it every single week, every single day. And at the same time, he has a great time doing it. And I think that shows that you can work extremely hard and still have fun coming to work every single day.
Patrick, obviously you've been successful in domes throughout your career, playing in Legion. You have lost home of the Raiders. How come you're so comfortable in the dome and you're the home team this time at their place?
I don't know. I just like playing football, so it doesn't matter if it's minus 30 or if we're in indoors. I'm just going to go out there and try to play the best I can. And I'm sure quarterbacks will tell you that it's easier to throw the football when it's in perfect conditions, so that's probably why. But for me, it's just going out there and competing.
Patrick, getting to know Matt as a rookie, and then he left and came back. I wonder if there's any difference in him having been a head coach that you can notice. Andy talked about how he's more decisive now, having been a head coach.
Yeah, I mean, you learn. I think you learn the good and the bad. And he's been around, I think, other coaches as well, so he has different ideas that he brings. And you can see that last year, and you can see that this year. And like you said, I mean, I think he just knows what he wants now. He knows what situations, like, let's have a play ready. And like at the end of the game this last week, he makes me do a little sheet where I pick kind of plays for certain situations, and that was on the sheet. He went right to it, picked that play, gave it to me. We were comfortable. We went out there and executed the play. And so it's just stuff like that. I mean, when you go out there, and I mean, he had success as a coach, and then he had some times where he didn't have as much success, and he learned from those times. And he's came back, and he's been a better coach, I think, because of that. And so that's what you have to do in this league, and coaching, playing, whatever it is you learn from your successes, and you learn from stuff that you don't do as well, and you try to be better the next opportunity you get.
Patrick, what's the value of this week in terms of preparation before all the craziness of next week?
Yeah, I mean, we're pretty locked in both weeks, but you're really locked in this week. You want to make sure you get the whole game plan in, you get all your questions asked and answered. So next week when you're reviewing, you can just go on the fine details that you might not have the chance to do in a regular game week. And so I'll have that mindset all through practice. I'll make sure the guys have the same mindset.
Patrick, Bobby showed some of your workouts that you do that kind of helped you prevent injury with the Matabuke when it came out your legs. Just what does that say about your preparation? And you know, when some folks see quarterbacks or whoever doing like some weird workouts in the offseason, that it actually pays off.
So I think he showed that for everybody, but that was really directed towards me because I hate doing all that stuff. And every time he does it, I'm like, why am I doing this stretch right now and everything like that? And then he gets an opportunity like that where he shows me, he's like, see, this is why we do it. So now that'll be a staple in every workout I do. But yeah, no, I mean, we try to prepare for everything. And he's done a great job of adapting and learning from stuff that I've done in my career and preparing me for those moments to try to keep myself healthy as I possibly can. Because I always said the best availability. I mean, the best ability is availability, and you want to be out there. And lucky enough for us so far, knock on wood, we've been able to have a lot of healthy guys out there. And we want to play our best football in the Super Bowl, and that's what we're going to try to do.
Those moments happen often for him and you.
Yeah, I mean, he always gets me doing stuff that I don't want to do, and I know he wants the best for me, so I do it. But there's definitely some times where I'm like, man, we're on 2 hours of working out. Like let me go upstairs and just hang out. And so it's he pushes me every single day.
I have two quick questions. You talked about Kelce and how he wants to be practicing every rep. Was it times this season because of the knee, because of the ankle, that he struggled to actually do that to stay in rhythm? And was there a key difference when he got the week 18 rest?
Yeah, no, I mean, definitely there was times throughout the season where we had to take him out. I mean, he didn't want to, but we had to get him out to let his body heal. And it wasn't like his mind wasn't there, but you could just see his body. It wasn't moving the way that it always moves. And I think, like you said, just having that rest, I think just having more time from when the original injuries kind of happened, you could see now his body was getting back, and we felt really good going in even to that Cincy game and kind of after that, and then going into the last week and getting that rest and coming into playoffs, you could tell his body was getting back to the true Travis Kelce, and so it was definitely good for him, and hopefully we can keep that thing rolling, not just this game, but in the future years as well.
And the second thing I wanted to remind you is that you said that going back to back, you knew it was going to be hard based on the previous experience. Training camp began for you on July 18th. Technically the longest season you've ever had in your career. Just what about trying to go back to back last year and knowing that this was going to be a long season sort of guided you or helped you maybe in terms of leadership guide the guys along a much longer journey than normal?
Yeah, I mean, they've been such different seasons. I think that's been the biggest thing. The last time we tried to go back to back, we won I think we were like 14-1 going into last week, got the rest, lost that game, and then kind of rolled through the playoffs. And it's never easy, but I mean, we played well, and it was kind of like, oh, we're just gonna do it again. We're gonna do it. We're gonna go out there and play again, and we got our butt kicked. And so this year, it's been completely opposite. It's been a struggle throughout the season, and we've had to continue to get better and better. And that's what I've always preached. But I think some of the losses kind of forced us to we have to continue to get better. And I think now it's just not being satisfied with getting there. I mean, this is a great football team that we're going up against. It's going to take our best football, kind of like it's taken the last 3 weeks that we've played. And so we have to do whatever we can to prepare ourselves this week of practice and next week of practice to be ready to go. And I know it's Vegas and it's a lot of fun, but for us, it's a business trip in the true sense. And we're going there to play a football game and try to find our way to win it. And I think that has to be the mindset starting today.
So we'll go last year with Todd, Sam, and then Vahe. Go Todd.
Patrick, you love to practice. You love to play in the games, inside, outside, whatever. You've been to this game more often than not in your career. I wonder if you could take me back a couple of years ago when you guys lost the FC title game. What was this couple of weeks like for you as someone else was preparing for the Super Bowl? How down were you, and how much did that motivate you to not have that again?
Yeah, no, it's tough. Luckily enough, I've been able to go to the Pro Bowl, but I mean, even going to the Pro Bowl and just sitting there, and you're sitting there, and you're like, man, I could be preparing for the Super Bowl, and you take it as an honor, but you're just sitting there, and it's tough, and then it's hard to watch the game. And I know, my buddies, I know the last time we went in it, my buddies had a Super Bowl party, and they wanted everybody to come over, and I was just like, nah, I'm barely going to even be able to watch it. And so I watched it at home just with me and Brittany, and I kind of had it on, and I would kind of walk off and walk back just because I'm a fan of football. But it's tough, and to get that close and not get in the game, and I know it's tougher to get in the game and lose it. So I'll try to keep away from that as well. And so those negative moments are kind of what stick with you the rest of your career.
Patrick, a few years ago at the Super Bowl, you mentioned that your preparation was OCD-like. I'm just wondering if you could take me through, in the moment, whether it's game planning or preparing for specific defenses, how you do that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like that every week. I don't want to go through the whole entire thing, but I have a set amount of games that I watch first, take notes on, and then throughout the week, I watch either a game or two a day, and then I watch every game plan, a scouting cut-up week have, third down, red zone, 2-minute, 4-minute, kind of on those certain days throughout the week. I write all the notes of all the game plan. I go through the install stuff, and it's pretty much the same every single week. And I know what I need to get done that day, and then I do that. And having this extra week, I'll have it all done before we even leave for Vegas. But then I'll go back during the week of Vegas and just go through those same things, reread everything, and make sure that I'm in that same mindset I'm always in.
So when you say reread, it's the own notes that you're taking?
Yeah, so there's notes that the coaches give us, and I write them down. I'm big writing it down. It helps me remember it. So I'll write it down, and then I'll rewrite everything again. And then this week I'll probably rewrite it one more time while I'm in Vegas. And that stuff sticks in my head like that, and that's something I've done my entire career.
Patrick, one question and a quick follow-up. When you were in Germany, did you ever actually encounter any ads featuring yourself in them, whether it was
I saw some, but I never left the hotel, so I didn't get to see them in person, but I saw pictures of them.
And with that, I do wonder if you have any sense of being a global figure. I mean, from what the attention on the Super Bowl, from all you guys have achieved, in what ways you might feel that?
I think you feel it a little bit. I mean, I think the commercials probably help out a lot, but and the run that we've been on. But I think until I actually go around the world and see that different type of stuff, I don't think I'll realize it enough of the impact that we've had. But I do pretty good in Texas and Kansas City. I know that.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Ben.